locations, just for safety.
Okay, Brittany, I need to, and Robbie, if you could please stand by. President Obama is now coming out. He is at the White House honoring service members during a naturalization ceremony. Let's take a listen to the ceremony as they just about get started there.
United States Marine Band.
Please be seated. Mr. President, Madam Secretary, distinguished candidates for citizenship and special guests, good morning. It is a special morning and a distinct honor for me to be here. I am Alejandro Mayorkas, myself a refugee to this great nation and a naturalized citizen. I now have the privilege to serve as the Director of U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services, the component of the Department of Homeland Security that administers our nation's immigration benefits. On this July 4th, we commemorate not only the 236th anniversary of our nation, but also celebrate the meaning of American citizenship. Among us are 25 exceptional individuals who chose to serve their country and who took an oath to support and defend the Constitution before sharing fully in the rights and opportunities it provides. Their commitment and dedication to the values we cherish as citizens should stand as an inspiration to us all. I will now proceed to call the candidates' 17 home countries. Candidate, when your country of current nationality is called, please stand and remain standing until everyone is standing. Belize, Bolivia, Cameroon, Cape Verde, Colombia, Ecuador, El Salvador, Ghana, Guatemala, Guinea.
All right, White House correspondent Kristen Welker is also there watching this ceremony for us. It's a naturalization ceremony with the president, as well as Department of Homeland Security Secretary Janet Napolitano also there for this ceremony. And Kristen, they normally start these ceremonies including naming the countries as we're seeing right now.
That's right. They're going to name the countries, and then you will see the 25 U.S. service members be sworn in as U.S. citizens. We expect President Obama to make remarks. Of course, that's what we're waiting for. We also expect Secretary of Homeland Security Janet Napolitano to deliver the oath of allegiance. They have held 3 of these naturalization ceremonies at the White House, but this is the first one to be held on Independence Day. The timing's really interesting, Richard, because it comes just a few weeks after President Obama announced that his administration would block the deportation of about 800,000 immigrants who were brought here illegally as children. That was, of course, very popular amongst folks in the Latino community. Richard?
All right, Kristen, let's listen into the ceremony right now. Janet Napolitano about to start it.
So I'll break it up. I hereby declare on oath that I absolutely and entirely renounce and abjure all allegiance and fidelity to any foreign prince, potentate, state or sovereignty, of whom or which I have heretofore been a subject or citizen, that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the laws of the United States of America against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I will bear arms on behalf of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform non-combatant services in the armed forces of the United States when required by the law, that I will perform work of national importance under civilian direction when required by the law, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion. So help me God. Congratulations. Please be seated. Congratulations to our newest American citizens. Today, you have earned all the rights and responsibilities that come with being a citizen of the United States. America is now your country. You have worked so hard to get here. You should be as proud of this moment and this achievement just as I am proud to call you my fellow citizens. And there's no more fitting day on which to do this, to join the American family, than the 4th of July, when we celebrate the 236th anniversary of our Declaration of Independence. This is all the more so because these new citizens are members of the armed forces, all of the 25 candidates here this morning. Our nation thanks you for your service. We owe the freedoms we all enjoy to the sacrifices of men and women like you, men and women who have already sacrificed so much for our nation and have served her so honorably even before she had become your own. You have put your lives on the line for our country even before you could officially be called American. And all of us are honored to celebrate this moment with you and your families on this special day. America is a nation of immigrants, and we are proud of that fact. Since 2001, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services has naturalized over 80,000 members of the armed forces, bringing immigration services to our troops wherever they serve. And since 2009, we have offered non-citizen enlistees the opportunity to naturalize before completing basic training so that they can graduate as American citizens. The Department of Homeland Security is now working with the Department of Defense so that our naturalization and basic training will be in place at all of our service branches by the end of the year. And we will continue to do everything we can to expedite the naturalization process for individuals like you who have already given so much to our nation. So let me offer my congratulations to each of you. All of us are proud to call you our fellow citizens. And now it is my distinct honor and privilege to introduce to you the President of the United States, Barack Obama. Mr. President.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Secretary Napolitano, Director Mayorkas, distinguished guests, family, and friends. Welcome to the White House. Happy 4th of July. What a perfect way to celebrate America's birthday the world's oldest democracy, with some of our newest citizens. I have to tell you just personally, this is one of my favorite things to do. It brings me great joy and inspiration because it reminds us that we are a country that is bound together not simply by ethnicity or bloodlines, but by fidelity to a set of ideas. And as members of our military, you raised your hand and took an oath of service. It is an honor for me to serve as your Commander-in-Chief. Today you raised your hand and have taken an oath of citizenship. And I could not be prouder to be among the first to greet you as my fellow Americans. Now, looking back, it was an act of extraordinary audacity. A few dozen delegates in that hall in Philadelphia daring to defy the mightiest empire in the world, declaring that these united colonies are, and of right ought to be, free and independent states. 236 years later, we marvel at America's story. From a string of 13 colonies to 50 states, from sea to shining sea, from a fragile experiment in democracy to a beacon of freedom that still lights the world, from a society of farmers and merchants to the largest, most dynamic economy in the world, from a ragtag army of militias and regulars to you, the finest military that the world has ever known, from a population of some 3 million, free and slave, to more than 300 million Americans of every color and every creed. With this ceremony today, and ceremonies like it across our country, we affirm another truth. Our American journey, our success, would simply from every corner of the globe. We say it so often we sometimes forget what it means. We are a nation of immigrants. Unless you are one of the first Americans, a Native American, we are all descended from folks who came from someplace else. Whether they arrived on the Mayflower or on a slave ship, whether they came through Ellis Island or crossed the Rio Grande. Immigrants signed their names to our Declaration and helped win our independence. Immigrants helped lay the railroads and build our cities, calloused hand by calloused hand. Immigrants took up arms to preserve our union, to defeat fascism, and to win a Cold War. Immigrants and their descendants helped pioneer new industries and fuel our information age, from Google to the iPhone. So, the story of immigrants in America isn't a story of them, it's a story of us. It's who we are. And now, all of you get to write the next chapter. Each of you have traveled your own path to this moment, from Cameroon and the Philippines, Russia and Palau, and places in between. Some of you came here as children, brought by parents who dreamed of giving you the opportunities that they had never had. Others of you came as adults, finding your way through a new country and a new culture and a new language. All of you did something profound. You chose to serve. You put on the uniform of a country that was not yet fully your own in a time of war. Some of you deployed into harm's way. You displayed the values that we celebrate every 4th of July. Duty, responsibility, and patriotism. We salute a husband and father, originally from Mexico, now a United States Marine, joined today by his wife Sylvia and daughter Juliet. Becoming a citizen, he says, is another step in the right direction for my family. So today we congratulate Francisco Ballesteros de la Rosa. Where's Francisco? We salute a young woman from El Salvador who came here when she was just 6, grew up in America, who says she always had a desire to serve and who dreams of becoming an Army medic. So we congratulate Luisa Childers. Luisa. We salute a young man from Nigeria who came here as a child. I left Nigeria, he says, with the dream that we all have, a destiny in life, and we are all born with the resources to make a difference. We are confident he will make a difference. We congratulate Oluwatosin Akindoro. We salute a young man from Bolivia who came to America, enlisted in our military, and has volunteered to help care for our veterans. He's becoming a citizen, he says, to be a part of the freedom that everybody is looking for. And so we congratulate Javier Beltran. It has taken these men and women, these Americans, years, even decades, to realize their dream. And this, too, reminds us of a lesson of the 4th. On that July day, our founders declared their independence, but they only declared it. It would take another 7 years to win the war, 15 years to forge a Constitution and a Bill of Rights, nearly 90 years and a great civil war to abolish slavery, nearly 150 years for women to win the right to vote, nearly 190 years to enshrine voting rights. And even now, we're still perfecting our union, still extending the promise of America. And that includes making sure the American dream endures for all those, like these men and women, who are willing to work hard, play by the rules, and meet their responsibilities. For just as we remain a nation of laws, we have to remain a nation of immigrants. And that's why, as another step forward, we're lifting the shadow of deportation from deserving young people who were brought to this country as children. It's why we still need a DREAM Act to keep talented young people who want to contribute to our society and serve our country. It's why America's success demands comprehensive immigration reform. Because the lesson of these 236 years is clear. Immigration makes America stronger. Immigration makes us more prosperous. And immigration positions America to lead in the 21st century. And these young men and women are testaments to that. No other nation in the world welcomes so many new arrivals. No other nation constantly renews itself, refreshes itself with the hopes and the drive and the optimism and the dynamism of each new generation of immigrants. You are all one of the reasons that America is exceptional. You're one of the reasons why, even after 2 centuries, America is always young, always looking to the future, always confident that our greatest days are still to come. So, to all of you, I want to wish you the happiest 4th of July. God bless you all. God bless our men and women in uniform and your families. And God bless the United States of America.
President Obama just finishing remarks at a naturalization ceremony of 25 service members. Kristen Welker at the White House watching this along with us. And Kristen, he's done this in years past and had messages before and good. In fact, he's speaking well. Let's listen very quickly.
One of America's newest citizens, born in Guatemala. He enlisted in the Marine Corps, served with honor in Afghanistan. And I know he's especially proud because in a few days his father, Walter, who's also here today, will become a naturalized American citizen as well. Where's Walter? There he is over there. Good to see you, Walter. Please welcome Lance Corporal Byron Acevedo to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
One second.
Ready.
I'm nervous. I pledge allegiance to a flag of the United States of America and to a republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great 4th of July. Congratulations to our newest citizens. Yay.
Kristen Welker still with us. Kristen, if you've been to any one of these ceremonies before, they're so emotional. They are an absolute an event to be at and to experience. It is an American moment. And as you watch that there close to the White House, close to that room right now, as I was saying earlier, this is something that the president has done in previous July 4ths.
Absolutely. Certainly a patriotic way to start the day, Richard. This is the 3rd naturalization ceremony here at the White House. What's so interesting about this event is that it really highlights some of the built-in benefits of being president in an election year. You get to have some of these moments that are filled with so much symbolism, patriotism, and that really speaks to key voters at the same time. As we mentioned, this ceremony coming just a few weeks after the president announced that his administration would block the deportations of some immigrants who were brought here illegally as children. That is something that played very well with a number of Latino voters. And this ceremony also gave him the chance to sort of answer some of his critics who say he hasn't done enough to bring about immigration reform. You heard him say, Richard, and I just want to read it back. He said, immigration reform makes America stronger. So that was one of the key messages that he was getting out today. So this event certainly filled with ceremony, but certainly some strong political undertones as well. As you know, Hispanic voters will be key, especially in some of those big battleground states like Nevada, like Arizona, like Colorado. So those are voters who are going to be watching a ceremony like this and responding to it. Again, one of the built-in benefits of being president when you're running for re-election. And of course, Mitt Romney also taking advantage of the symbolism of this day. He right now at a parade in New Hampshire, another battleground state that will be hard fought in 2012. Richard?
And Kristen, we will get to New Hampshire where Mitt Romney is at as we watch President Obama here shake the hands of the 25 newest citizens this moment. Also 25 voters that could participate come November. President Obama on this July 4th, an American moment. This as we see him leave the room, and very emotional, especially for Byron Oswaldo Acevedo, who had to give the Pledge of Allegiance, but he did quite well throughout all that. We're going to get response now. We've got a panel. Susan Del Percio. We also have Raul Reyes and Karen Finney. They'll be with us right after the break, so stick around.